Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, it seems that security tags has appeared on butter. In the supermarkets, we have butter that has been security tagged because people have been going in there and stealing butter because they can't afford to buy it. Soon you're gonna have people just coming up to you on road and just saying, hey, I've got a pound of butter here, yeah. What do you say? Need some butter? And when you look at it, it's melted. That's melted. What the hell am I going to do with melted butter? Use it for oil? It just shows how low Boris Johnson actually took this country to, where they have to put security tags on butter. So you can imagine that all of like your meat products are going to be fully security tagged up too. Like whether it's lamb, beef, even maybe the big pieces of chicken may even be like security tagged up in the United Kingdom in 2022. And this is what happens, yeah, when you live under a conservative government, right? And all you want to do is play all these disgusting, stupid ass culture wars. This is where it gets you, because this country is falling to pieces right now. Yeah, we are going through like a proper heat wave, and our train tracks are catching on fire. We've got wildfires catching up all over the place at the moment. I've seen at least 4 wildfires. Right now, we do have them in here in this country from time to time, but I think that this situation is a lot more serious because obviously, they were saying that we're going to get to like maybe 41, 42 in like around a decade, but it looks like we could actually be close to that this weekend. So obviously, the infrastructure of this country is not set up for this extreme type of heat. Right? In the same way, it's not set up for the cold either. Think to yourself, what the fuck has these people been doing all these years? But I'll tell you what they've been doing all these years. They've been fighting culture wars. The British people, or the English people, I should say, right, have been forcing the government into all these culture wars. Oh, the fucking statues, right? It's those fucking Black Lives Matter making those England players take the fucking knee, right? While keeping the government busy when they're supposed to be looking after the infrastructure of the country. But because we've had governments who just have no interest in the people of this country, all the people who work in government, all their interest is mainly is to just get into the House of Lords. Right, so that they know that they're looked after by us for the rest of their life, right? With their £332 a day, who the fuck couldn't live on that? Right? So they make sure, and that's what most of it is about for them. Most of our politicians, right? The only one I think right now, yeah, the only ones who are really out there, probably for the people, yeah, are probably the Greens. Right, because Labour and the Tories have gone off. I don't know what direction they've gone off. They've both gone off in whatever direction. But you see, the reason why this country is in the complete utter catastrophe it's in is because you people have been playing your stupid fucking culture wars all this time, right? Not realizing yet that your problem, right, is it's not racism. Racism is not your problem. Classism's your problem, right? And the upper classes have to sell that to you and make it seem like what actually your problem is the people, all those black and brown people. That's what your problem is. Your problem is not like that one person in this country has amassed a fortune of £60 million. I mean that's just his benefits or her benefits, right? When the real truth is, yeah, if you continue to box downwards or to the side, right, instead of boxing up, right? Because if you notice, yeah, the upper classes, they always box down. They was just like, yeah, we know where our bread's better. Our bread, we know where our bread is buttered, right? And there's a pow, pow, keep your ass down. Right down, right where you should be, right? In a fucking council estate, right? On one of the worst fucking estates in the country. That is who they want you to be voting. They want you to be voting for Tories. When you're in that situation, and you know something? So much of the English people just say, oh yes, I'm going to do that for them because those people are out there for me. When the real truth here is you should have really been looking at people like Diane Abbott and John McDonnell. They're the people who was out there for the people of this country. Has Boris Johnson ever showed you that he was ever out there for the people of this country, apart from what he's apart from what he told you? But then, if you believed what Boris Johnson told you at any stage, yeah, I have a bridge. No, I'm very serious now. I have a bridge, right, over the Thames that I want to get built, and I'm going to send out my PayPal so that people can start sending in donations to about 50 million would probably do it. But if you're going to believe all that bullshit, right, that's why this country is in the position it's in. But it's in the position it's in because of the help of the people of this country. Right now we're hitting another crisis, because this heat wave could turn out to be a real crisis. Because remember, that as well as people can't heat their houses, now they can't keep them fucking cool. Right, so this could end up killing off a lot of older people in this type of heat, even younger people with heat stroke and all that type of shit. Right, because we're in a country, right, that has not got the infrastructure, right, to be able to deal with this type of weather. After we get to 2022, right, this country starts to fall, and we're looking at at the moment we're in the early 30s, right? But they reckon by the weekend we're going to go, we could be seeing 38 to 42, right? So because of all the ridiculous culture wars and looking at your neighbour, and saying, oh, you know what, I don't want to live next to some bloody Asian, I want to live next to some bloody African. I don't want to do that. Right? Why should I have to do that in my own bloody country? Right? Why should I have to do that? Instead of that nonsense, right? And looking at the England team taking the knee, right? And doing videos of yourself booing the England team taking the knee. Right, now wonder why the fuck, right, we've got train lines catching on fire and we've got security tag butter. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me, and a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. Wow, it's this country, it just seems like it's just got, how low can we really go? How can we're gonna get low, gonna get low. Russia have turned off gas supply to, well, I think it might be just one gas pipeline. I don't know how much they've got. But Russia have turned off a gas pipeline to Germany. So Russia are still keeping up their damn foolishness and keeping up their pressure. And, if you notice, obviously, we've had a lot going on in this country. So, the war in Ukraine has is not been put on the back burner because, because Boris Johnson will stand up and go, oh, look, if you get rid of me, look what happens to the people in Ukraine. Now, shut up, right? All that's going to happen is the next prime minister who comes along, will just carry on feeding Ukraine with loads of money and weapons, because that's what we do, right? When it comes down to it, right? If we see a Caucasian country attacked, right, we then go out and we supply them with weapons to defend themselves, because we're like, oh, no, that can't happen. We can't allow that to go on. No, we've got to give those people weapons to defend themselves, and we've got to give them money so they can defend themselves. And say, all right, so we're going to sort out the Palestinians. Then bastards can go, fuck off, the bloody Muslims, fuck them, right? Let the white motherfuckers kill them all. And what about Yemen? Same thing, but they're being killed by brown people, so we can get away with that a little bit more, and we can even supply the weapons to Saudi Arabia to do it. Ha ha ha! Good old Britain. Republicans here are tying themselves in knots, right, over these mass shootings. They're blaming weed. They're blaming mental health. And say, you're blaming mental health. And then when they want to bring in new mental health legislation, you always say, no, right? People are not mentally ill in this country. Our country is good. apart from all the mass shootings, of course. You know, they've had more mass shootings in America, yeah, than they've had days in this year so far. Can you believe that stat, right? You know, but the Republicans, right? You know, you just have to wonder what is going through these people's minds. You know, what the hell goes through these people's minds? And then you've got a situation, yeah, with Supreme Court Brett Kavanaugh, right? The sexual fucking predator who Donald Trump put into the Supreme Court for the rest of his life. Imagine that, right? A man like Brett Kavanaugh, right? You know, a man, right, who, you know, listen, you know, that woman went up there, you know, she's a professor as well, right? And they said, oh no, well, you know, she was a Democrat, so she could never be telling the truth, right? But just even the scandal alone should have disbarred you. Should have said, no, 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 no. No, no, no. You cannot apply no longer to be a Supreme Court judge because, you know, a woman saying that you raped her with your friends. Yeah, counts you out, pal. You know, in any other, you know, I don't even think here that any other Republican president would have put him in, right, once that come out. But obviously, when you're dealing with a man who, you know, who's had sex scandals and, you know, accused of rape and all those things by himself, yeah, and then he's the most popular person in the country. I mean, what does that say? What does that say for the American people that Donald Trump, yeah, was at one time one of the most popular people in the country? Right? A man who'd been bankrupt X amount of times, a man who's lost billions of pounds, had a casino closed down, right? Been accused of rape, right? Said himself, I go around grabbing women by the genitalia. And he was the most popular person in that country. I don't know, but, you know, I don't know. But I do know, right, that there are blacks for Trump. And if you notice behind him, every time in one of his rallies, they're always the same black guys. Right? There's about 4 or 5 of them, right? And they've always got the t-shirt on blacks for Trump. And they're always strategically placed right behind him. But, you know, I think that the Republicans could look at those people and say, they probably have mental health problems. Because I'm guaranteed that they do. Anyway, right? So, Brett Kavanaugh, right, a man who is so wrong for the job he's doing, right, was out in a restaurant, a steakhouse. Who doesn't like a good bit of steak? And I believe it was probably on a Sunday, probably Sunday night. Not last night, but the night before. And some people must have found out he was in there, right? And as he's just taken away the rights of women, right, all across America, they decided they're going to take away his right to eat in a motherfucking steakhouse, right? And the Republican fucking media have gone crazy up in there, right? You know, these people are, everybody should have the right to eat dinner. So women shouldn't have the right to determine over their own bodies, but you think that you have the right to eat dinner while you're telling women that they don't have the right to determine what happens to their bodies for the rest of their life. I don't know how I don't get how Republicans think. I just think, well, but then again, you know, they're represented by like people like, you know, Lindsey Graham and, you know, Donald Trump and, you know, and Mr. Turkey Neck himself. You know, you think, well, this is like, that's Mitch McConnell, by the way, right? And you think, wow, these people they're unhinged. That's what they are. They're unhinged. Where they think, yeah, that, you know, it's your human right, right, to have dinner, right, without people bothering you, without people protesting about you. They're not protesting about what's on your plate. That's another argument. Right? They're not protesting about that. They're protesting about you. Brett Kavanaugh, you motherfucking rapist. That's who they're protesting about, right? And for, you know, for people on Fox News to come out and say, how dare these people? And obviously, they've all got to be Democrats because it's only Democrat women who might need to determine what happens to their body. So obviously, they've got to only be Democrats. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but America's messed up. And last night, the Lionesses delivered an 8-0 drubbing, a thrashing, a real shellacking, right, to Norway, right? And Norway are really good. Let me tell you this, right? That, right, was not in the script, right? The 8-0 thrashing, right? And Ireland, you can please us. You can thank us whenever you feel fit to, right? The 8-0 drubbing, what the Lionesses, right, issued out last night to Norway. Says, that was like, oh my God. There's no way that game was supposed to end like that. That game was supposed to be like a really tight, you know what I mean? Like maybe a 2-1 or maybe a 1-0 or 2-0. That was not supposed to go and put 8 past Norway, right? Norway, right? Norway's one of the best teams out there. A really good team, really, really good team. And I mean, this does put a lot of pressure on the Lionesses. But I mean, the Lionesses are really good. They are good, good structure to their team. But last night that game was like, they really did play their socks off, right? They really did play their socks off. So so we have to say like, massive congratulations to them. And the England men. If it wasn't for the fact that they was doing all this foolishness, taking the knee and all Listen, before the England men was taking the knee, they was out there disappointing us. But the Lionesses, seriously, them girls are just like, them girls are real class. And so Sir Mo Farah has revealed, right, that his name is not truly Mo Farah. He was trafficked to this country as a 9-year-old, right, and was basically brought over and was used as a slave, for I don't know for how much years. And then he obviously he had given a story that that he come over with his dad, and then his dad didn't want to know him, so he went and lived with his uncle and aunt. But obviously that was just a massive lie. That's what they told him to. That's what they told him to say. And I was thinking, well, he seems like he's a very good liar. Maybe he should be applying to be the Prime Minister. But it just goes to show you, that I mean, because he is a double world champion. So I think he's got 4 gold medals. Right, he might have more. I'm not sure because the man's chest is just full of medals, right? But if the people of this country had their way, right, his ass would have been in Rwanda. After this country didn't know that his dad was actually murdered in the Somali war in Somaliland. His dad was murdered there. Right, his mum's actually still alive. His mum's actually still alive. She's actually still lives in Somaliland. She's still alive. But it just goes to show you that what kind of people could be coming over on those boats. And it was a teacher that spotted his talent over here, and then they took him away from that. They took him away from that family that he was with, and gave him to another Somali family over here, who obviously cared for him a lot more, and and then obviously the rest of the story is history, and it's real history. It's real good old-fashioned English, British history on Sir Mo Farah. Grant Shapps has said he's going to bring in workers to break the strikes. Now, wasn't it just a few weeks ago that he was telling P&O, how dare you? Why would you even do that? And then all of a sudden, Grant Shapps thinks he can bring in train drivers. And I just want to know, where the hell they're going to find temporary train drivers from? Because, that's not like, it's not something that you can just train someone up in 5 minutes. Say, you know what, if you just report at 8:55 and by Well, if we say by 9:55, we'll have you trained, right, and ready to do the London to Glasgow route, right? 25 stops in between, and you have to get the train in between the lines in every station. Just pull the hammer, and away you go. Seriously, the people, right, the people who are put, and when you have people like Grant Shapps, yeah, or Seb Fox, as we like to call him, right, a con man from the internet, right, and the people of his people who vote for him, they've got to obviously know this because I know this. So, and I mean, he had two names. I can't remember what the other name is, but obviously, so he's a three. He's like, he's got three names that this man. But obviously, we don't even know if Grant Shapps is his real name. The way where he's the MP, But where you've got people like this, right? I don't know how you expect these type of people, to even right. To even think that these kind of people can get into politics and run these departments. Seriously, the man is an internet con man. How much people has he conned on the internet? Why would you need to use all sorts of different names on the internet, right? If you're running, because he was running get rich quick schemes, and as you know, right, there is no such thing. There is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for you. Right? You're not going to go on the internet and say, oh, get rich. And then, a couple of weeks later, right, you're a multi-millionaire with a fucking yacht in Monaco. Fuck off. It's not going to happen. But that's what he was selling. That's the type of shit he was selling. Because that's what, But these type of people that these people want in power. Why you would want these people in power, I don't know. I have no clue. And it looks like we have more strikes looming. So Grant Shapps is going to be pretty busy then, because 8 of the train driving unions, right? Eight train driving companies, right? So it must be covered for whatever unions, right? And they've all voted to go on strike. So that don't look like that situation doesn't look like it's going to be a good. It looks like we're going to have a real summer of real discontent in this country, real discontent, because I just don't see I don't see this government trying to sort things out. In fact, the government's pretty busy with other stuff. I don't know what, but they just seem to have, at the moment, they seem to have their eye off of the ball. Not like they've ever had their eye on the ball properly, but at the moment, they just seem like they're busy doing, I don't know. They're probably on their holidays because, the schools will soon break up. So that's what they're probably all like, getting ready for that type of thing, Because it looks like that we're going to have. I mean, yesterday the post office workers was out, so a lot of the main post offices was closed. But that's not really that one is going to but it does happen. What they call the communication something communication workers union. That's who they work for, right? But that's who their union is, right? But they was, as I said, they was on strike yesterday. And look, we're going to have probably teachers, lecturers. Teachers, we're going on 6 weeks holiday soon. So are they going to wait until September, or they're going to go out on strike in the 6 weeks holidays? Same with lecturers. Or they're going to go out, or are they going to go out before the schools go out? There might be, any of these could come up. Nurses, doctors, bin workers, all of these people, right, are asking for action to be taken, because some of them have been offered like 2%, and when inflation is running around 10%, right, and you offer people 2%, you might as well say, you know what, I don't like you, and if I could jump over this desk and punch your face in, then I would, but I know that I'd be sent to prison, and that's the only reason why I'm not going to do it. So get out of my office, right, and you take your 9-10%, right, inflation, right, and stick it right where the motherfucking sun don't shine, and don't let the door hit you on the way out where the good Lord split you. That's what your employer is saying to you when they offer you 2% when inflation is running at 10%. Because they hate you. And they know to themselves, you know what? You, right, are just a worker. And workers deserve nothing apart from a good lash and told to get back to motherfucking work. Right? Whether you're a teacher, lecturer, a nurse, a doctor, or a bin worker, or if you're a motherfucking train driver, or if you work right on the underground system, or if you work on the or the overground system, whichever one you work on, just get back to work and shut up. These people are just harsh. That's what they are. Nusrat Ghani, right, who once was told by the Conservatives, right, your colour and your race is an issue, along with you being, along with your religion. All these things are an issue. And now, right, she's now the vice chair, right, of the 1922 committee in the Conservatives, right, and she was told all these things, right, by someone in the Boris Johnson government not that long ago. And now, right, she's literally in control of what happens next. But of what happens, because if she really wants to be really vindictive, she could have just said, you know what, yeah, she could have just changed the rules and made Boris Johnson leave Downing Street immediately like he doesn't want to. Right? But if she wanted to, it just goes to show you. But I look at her and I think, well, you see, I don't know. I think that obviously black and brown people should obviously be in the Tory party, but you just have to get the right ones in there. You can't have ones in there that think it's okay, right, to send black and brown people to Rwanda. You can't have that. That's going too far. Right. So if black and brown people to join the Tory party, to bring them, to liberalize the motherfuckers, that's what that should be happening, right? But you've got all the black and brown contenders at the moment saying, well, I also will send black and brown people to Rwanda. I will carry on with Boris Johnson's plan. I mean, you can understand Priti Patel because, Priti Patel looks like she wants to just come and punch you in the guts every time she sees you, right? But, when you're talking about, someone like Kwasi Kwarteng, what's he going to do? Is he going to, if he become Prime Minister, now, what's the betting that Kwasi Kwarteng's going to go out, right, in the first round, which is, I think, tomorrow night, right? But probably going to go out in the first round. But if he was to become Prime Minister, is he gonna carry on these Rwanda plans? Just no. But anyway, I'm really pleased to see her in that position in the Tory party because it's a very, very powerful position being the vice chair. But as I always say, right, they're all the wrong type of Asian and black politicians in the Tory party. And I suppose that must reflect as to the Asian and black people who vote for the Tories on the streets. Must be they must have very much the same attitude as black and brown Tory MPs and Lords. Also, we're going to have a new Prime Minister by the 5th of September. Right, so Boris Johnson, at least we know what date he's actually definitely going to be out. But so that's the date that they've set, the 5th of September. So we're going to find out, who our new Prime Minister is. And you think anything's going to change for us? No, things are just going to get motherfucking worse for us because coming to us in this country very, very soon. I was going to say a country nearer, but coming to us right very, 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 very soon, right, is going to be £3,300, right, for the standard gas and electric. That's what our tariffs are going to be, right? Because it was just revealed yesterday. One of the big weeks from one of those companies. I can't remember, but he come out and said, well, the £2,800 that they was planning on hitting us with is not enough. They said they need more money. They said we need more money, even though all the prices seem to have gone down a lot because in America, right, over the last week or so, their gas price, their fuel prices, gas and petrol and diesel, right, have gone down like 16 cents over there. So, and they reckon they say that it's going to come down even some more. So your gallon over there is no longer over $5. It's a lot less than $5. No, well, probably like $4.80 something or whatever, or $4.70 something. but it seems to be going down, while ours seems to be holding right around the £2. It's holding steady, right, which is more than double what they're paying in the USA. But I know, right, I am living in a conservative country, and I know that in a conservative country the people are rich. So I know that everybody is going to be a-okay. And obviously the deadline tonight, yeah, for the obviously for the candidates, they've all got to have their bids in by 10 o'clock tonight, by 10 p.m. That's when the deadline is, right? And by then we're going to see who has, because I think they need the support of 18 of the other Tory MPs to to back them in the first, to get them past this first piece. And then obviously after that, the support is going to start to drop off, because you've got people who are making moves. So the next leader, because obviously if you can go to like the person who you throw all your weight behind, say you've got 100 people behind you, right? And then, oh no, that might be too much. So you've got 50 people behind you, right? If you can say, well, you know what, we're going to throw our weight. I'm going to throw me, right, and my 50 people. There's 51 MPs. I throw behind you, right, and I want to be the health minister. Or I want to be the education minister. Right. See, to be something like to be something like the chancellor, right? Then you would really need to have you would need to have probably 70 or 80 MPs behind you, maybe 100 behind you, that you could take over to give to someone and say, well, I'll come behind you, right? And that'll put you in the lead, right? And we'll put you in the last two, right? And if I do that for you, I want to be chancellor, right? So you can have that agreement, right? But believe me, politics at the top level, right, is savage, right? There's no, right? Don't. If someone promises you something, don't believe them, right? Especially if you're working in politics and someone's promised you something, yeah, I'll make you chancellor of the exchequer. Don't worry, me and you for the next 4 years, 5 years, me and you, right? And then when they do get the win, they're just like, oh no, I can make you arts minister. Right. Or can I make you minister for pets? Yeah, that's ministry. You get a ministerial car. It's a Skoda, but you get a ministerial car. No, it's 4 years old, but you get a ministerial car. That's how that shit works. Bojo has revealed he will not endorse any of the potential leaders, because you know what? He don't want to fuck them up. He don't want to ruin their chances, right? And he knows that. And he knows that's the truth. So far, yeah, within the in the race so far, I mean, they're coming out, you know, cats in a sack, like scratching their way out, and fucking each other up on the way out, right? Because they're talking about, marriage, extramarital affairs. They're talking about financial affairs. They're bringing out all sorts of different bullshit about each other. They're just tearing themselves to pieces, right? And all now, right? The Labour Party should just be at the side, right, with a big bag of popcorn, right, and a big gulp, right, of Pepsi or Coca-Cola with ice, right, and just watching what the fuck is going on, right? Because they could, for a sitting government, right, who have got real shit to deal with, because that's the thing with the Tories right now. They've got real shit to deal with, right, but they can't, because they're corrupt, they're cheats, and they're liars, right? And all of that bullshit, right, has caught up with all of them. I mean, you've got Savage Javid, right, thinking that, that people should actually take him serious. You think, really? Why don't you just take your fucking zippy head, right, and just go back to your constituency and be a backbencher and let us forget about you? That's what he should do. Because, I don't understand why all these brown faces are putting, I mean, the fastest way, right, for the Tories to be out of power for the next decade, right, is for them to put a brown face, right, in number 10 Downing Street. That's the fastest way for them to be out of power for the next 10 years, right, because this country is not ready for that. I'm ready for it. I'm even ready for one of these racist motherfucking Asians or one of these racist motherfucking black politicians, right, to be the fucking Prime Minister. Even if they're a bunch of motherfucking racist asses, I'm still ready for it. But the country's not. Right? And I'll tell you another thing, right? It's not just that, right? If you look at Ben Wallace, right? Ben Wallace knew he pulled out, right, because he knew he was too bald. Bald guy ain't going to be the Prime Minister of this country. So that gives, Zippy and Pinhead Zippy, right, two reasons why they will never be the Prime Minister. But let me tell you, right, if we do get a brown Prime Minister, right, it's going to mean that in the last two, right, there are two, right, brown people, or one brown and one black. Right? That's the only way we get a brown Prime Minister. If the MPs, right, are stupid enough, right, to put through two non-white politicians, because any black or brown politician go up against any white politician, right, and you're going to lose. Okay, I mean you've got very clean cut, chiseled, right, Jeremy Stupid Hunt, right, a man who fucked up the health service, who has run every department he has into the ground, right, who will tell you, oh, well, when Boris Johnson, I stepped away and I would never ever, right, do with anything to do with Boris Johnson. I had nothing to do with that government, nothing to do with me. Yeah, but you voted along with them all the time, didn't you? And that's what you've got to remember about every single one of these motherfuckers. Every one of them, they all voted along with Boris Johnson. Right? Whether they're on the backbenches or not, just look at their voting record. But just look at the Tories' voting record. They're very much uniform when it comes down to, right, voting against the interest of the people of this country. They're very good at doing that. And we have Suella Braverman, who's part of the ERG, the English racist group, right, who is an Asian woman who came to this country and part of the ERG, the English racist group, one of the most, right, racist factions within this country, and she's part of that. And she's going to be the leader. I say good luck with that. Along with Kwasi Kwarteng, Tom Tugendhat, and Kemi Badenoch. I don't know much about her, but I just know that she's a black woman, and so her chances are going to be very limited. And it's been revealed that Hunt and Tugendhat, right, have promised to keep hold of the Irish protocol, right, and uphold the deal that Boris Johnson done, which obviously is going to piss off the DUP. Right, they're the people who don't understand politics. Sorry, it should be DUPP, because they don't understand politics. Lord Frost has said, we don't need Rishi Sunak. He's a motherfucking Remainer. I never knew this, but apparently Rishi Sunak, right, may well try and reverse Brexit. So Lord Frost is going all out to keep Rishi Sunak out. Keep Rishi out. Lord Frost, right, a man who has made the Lord over the Brexit deal that they need to change now. A French minister has revealed he will not miss Bojo because Bojo's a motherfucking clown. So he said, but he didn't say it like that. He said, we will not miss him because he's a clown. And then he went on to trash Brexit. And obviously you must have known what he must have said about Brexit, because, it is a bit of a shit show. Anyway, my friends, I have got to bow out of here because I've been on for nearly 40 minutes. My God, it is hot in the United Kingdom and we don't have the infrastructure. But anyway, guys, this, my friends, is By Any Means Necessary. I'm DMC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.